Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to talk about triggers in SQL. So who was expecting some guns is at the wrong place. A trigger is a special kind of store procedure that executes in response to certain action on the table like insertion, deletion or updation of a data. It is a database object which is bound to a table and is executed automatically. You can't explicitly invoke triggers. The only way to do this is by performing the required action on the table that they are assigned to. So the type of triggers. There are three action query types that you use in SQL, which are insert, update and delete. So there are three types of triggers and hybrids that come from mixing and matching the events and timings that fire them. Basically, triggers are classified into two main types: after triggers and instead of triggers. The after triggers. These triggers run after an insert, update or delete on a table. They are not supported for use. After triggers can be classified further into three types, as after insert trigger, after update trigger and after delete trigger. Instead of triggers. These can be used as an interpreter for anything that anyone tried to do on our table or view. If you define an instead of trigger on a table for the delete operation, they try to delete rows and they will not actually get deleted, obviously unless you issue another delete instruction within the trigger. Instead of triggers can be classified further into three types: instead of insert trigger, instead of update trigger and instead of delete trigger. So now I'm going to show how it is working in MySQL Server Management Studio. First we will need to create a database. You click on new database. I already created one called demo. Inside the demo I click on new query, then I will have a new query. I already wrote the code with some comments, so it will be easy to explain and you will understand it. So first we need to create the employee table if it does not exist. See, create table employee ID, it's an integer and it's a primary key. First name is a varchar, last name is also a varchar. Then go. And then it's going to execute this command complete successfully. Now I'm going to populate the employee table with sample rows. I'm going to use the insert into, execute, go. Now I'm going to create and sync employee backup table with records from employee table so that both tables will have the same records. I'm going to use if object ID, employee backup is not null, drop table, employee backup, go. Select into employee backup from employee, go. I'm going to execute and 4 rows affected. Now see the table records from both tables. We have 4 rows in both tables. I'm going to execute this. Now we have 4 in each table, 4 rows. Now we need to keep both tables in sync so that when a record is inserted into employee, it should automatically be inserted into employee backup. In such a case we need an after insert trigger. Now we will create the after insert trigger on an employee table. So if object ID trigger insert sync employee is not null, drop trigger, insert sync employee, go. Create trigger, begin insert into go. I'm gonna execute this and then command completed successfully. So now our trigger has been successfully created. Now we will insert the record in employee table and we will have the same record in employee backup table because we have created an after insert trigger on employee table. So now we insert the record in the employee table. It's gonna be this line. Execute, and then we have done that. So see, both tables are in sync with the same number of records. Execute it, and then you can see here that it has the same. This one we inserted, and it's invisible in both tables. So this is basically an example for a trigger. Thank you for watching me.